Replacement players have shown up, some veterans are back in the league, and the trade deadline is now under a month away, not to mention All-Star Weekend. In this episode, I'm joined by two of my friends to discuss the recent happenings around the NBA. This is the Balanced and Ballin' Podcast. What's good, everyone? It's Jordan Becker, the now and host of the Balanced and Ballin' Podcast. Just wanted to hop in here before the interview formally started to introduce it and preface it. So earlier today, I hopped on to interview two of my friends, Mark Chalita and Gabriel Javier, to get their thoughts on the recent happenings around the NBA. Now, the introduction on our Zoom recording did not go as planned whatsoever. I mean, needless to say, Apple headphones and talking loudly are not a good combination at all. So I've decided to remove that intro and replace it with this one. So the first segment on the podcast was recent NBA headlines, and the first question I posed to them was, what are your thoughts on all these replacement players getting a shot in the NBA with half of the league out in COVID? So sit back, relax, and enjoy their response to this question and the rest of the podcast.
Gabe, you can go first.
I mean, one thing that comes to my mind with that is with the Miami Heat with Kyrie. I mean, he kind of dropped off, but then he's finding his place in Miami. And I feel like Miami are they find the hidden gems in people or in draft, and I feel like Kyrie will succeed in Miami. But I mean, a lot of people are coming back, like Lance Stevenson, there are a lot of people returning again because of COVID, like Kyrie. So yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like even though a lot of people are returning, as Gabe said, it's kind of a good experience for the ones who don't get much playing time, not dealing with COVID.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to your point, Max Strus has really made an impact. I think he was brought in not necessarily as a replacement player, but he was with them toward the end of their. He's been on the end of their bench, but now finally getting an opportunity. He's really showed out, and his friendship with Jimmy Butler is really something else. If you guys have seen that, yeah. Speaking of guys like Lance Stevenson, what NBA returns have excited you the most? I know we had Lance, Isaiah Thomas was back for a little bit, Joe Johnson as well. What do you guys think?
You go first, Gabe. You want to go first?
To be honest, I mean, I have no clue. There's no surprise yet for me. I feel like it's just it's it is what it is. There's nothing that's surprising. Kyrie's back. I mean, yeah, but it's only away games. But it's good to see Lance Stevenson and other people playing. But it's not something special.
Yeah, I feel like some of the returns are more exciting than others. Like even though Kyrie's is a return, he's only, as Gabe said, away. I feel like that's better than him not returning.
Mm-hmm.
And I also feel like Lance Stevenson, his return is I kind of expected it, but I was kind of happy that he returned, because it's you want to get, it's I guess it's good to see players return and not retire when they don't have to.
Mm-hmm. Good point. What games stood out to you guys recently? For me, it was Klay's return, the Grizzlies beating the Warriors, and then the Lakers beating the Hawks.
Yeah, for me, it was the Lakers beating the Hawks, because, as you know, I love watching the Lakers. And also Klay's return, he really did solid for his return. I feel he put up some point. He put 17 points, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was solid. I watched that one too. Yeah, those two.
Yeah, for me, I watched when Klay got back. I mean, I watched the whole game, and another one was I think it was like yesterday thing. Warriors blowing out Chicago Bulls.
Oh yeah.
Chicago Bulls, like the two, like Devson lost like Chicago against Brooklyn against Warriors. They lost by a lot.
Mm,
So yeah, those are like the games that like stood out to me.
yeah. What do you guys think? We kind of talked about this earlier, but what do you think about Kyrie being a part-time player? Because he's playing on the road, not at home. Does he really, um, put this way? Like, I mean, well, first off, what do you guys think? Does it help or hurt the Nets?
I mean, I feel like it can. Well, it does both because one, he's not playing full time, which is kind of a minus for the Nets, I feel like, but it's also a plus that they can at least get him back for some games.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. In the long run, I feel like it might be. It could be a plus because they have him fresh on the away games when like sometimes it's harder to win away games, as they say, than home games. So
I mean, I feel like it's gonna affect them a lot. They're the third seed now in the Eastern Conference with 26 and 15. I mean, it's like we're almost near the end of the season. Kyrie just is coming back, and like the chemistry will be always off with him on and off the court for away games, and he injury now because of the when they were playing against Portland. So like I would say it's a minus for them.
Right. Were you guys surprised that Chicago, Cleveland, and Memphis would be this good? I mean, the Bulls are at the top of the East. Cleveland, they used to be third, now they're sixth in the East, and Memphis has jumped from fourth to third in the West.
I don't think so. Grizzlies, I mean, they're just unappreciated. Cavs are just for me surprised because like they're such a young team
Oh
with only
yeah.
Kevin Love being a veteran. But like, and he said the team was the Bulls or Heat, right?
The Bulls, they're first in the
Yeah,
East.
Bulls. The Bulls. I mean, it's kind of surprising a little bit, but like at the same time, a fourth quarter DeRozan is just built different. But like Cleveland, I mean, it's just a young core like Grizzlies, but like they're both unappreciated.
I agree. Mark?
yeah, I mean I wasn't really too surprised about the Bulls being like one of the I guess better teams right now because if you just look at their lineup on paper, like you can see that they they do have the potential of being a solid team. And with the Cavs, I feel like I didn't expect them to be a top, but like I didn't expect them to not do bad. So I guess it surprised me a little bit because of how little veterans they have, like how little experience. But I feel like I don't know, like the team chemistry there is like better than other teams, which causes them to become a better team. And the Grizzlies, they surprised me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, with the Grizz, you have John Morant being like pretty much a superstar at this point. Really should be an all-star. Desmond Bain is doing really well for them. Tyus Jones, I think he did pretty solid against Golden State. I mean, Chicago, you have Lonzo with Zach and DeRozan, of course. Cleveland, you have Darius Garland, Colin Sexton was doing really good for them. Ricky Rubio, he was doing really well before he got hurt, and now I think with the addition of Rajon Rondo, he's another veteran on that roster. I mean, like you can expect Cleveland to potentially stay in the playoff hunt. Really, um, kind of going on the other side of that. Did you think teams like the Clippers, Blazers, and Hawks would be this bad? Because the Clips are eighth in the West, the Blazers are 11th in the West, and the Hawks are 12th in the East.
The Blazers and the Hawks, surprisingly, Clippers. I mean, they were up higher before, but not because of what Paul George injury. I mean, that will affect them a lot more because they don't have Kawhi, obviously. But I feel like not to sleep on the Clippers still because they still can pull some strings, including the Hawks and Blazers. So
Yeah, it's to hop on what Gabe said. Like, don't underestimate them, even if they're not doing well now. It's because of the Clippers injuries, but I feel like the Clippers, they have potential, but without their experience, like that's why they're doing so bad. Because and the Blazers, you said that was the other team. I feel like they didn't surprise me that much about them not being an in quotes good team, but they're also a team that shouldn't be slept on because they can, like, I guess, take advantage pretty quick. But yeah.
Yeah, and I think Damian Lillard might be out for the next 4 to 6 weeks with an abdomen injury or surgery, whatever it was. So I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how guys like Anthony Simons, for example, carries the load. I mean, McCollum's going to be back probably Monday, which is going to be a good sign for them. So hopefully they can get it going in that regard. The Clippers were, I mean, it's going to be tough without PG and Kawhi, but like some of their supporting cast members can pull it off. I mean, can't they definitely can't be slept on, especially on the run that they had last year. And then the Hawks, I mean, Trae Young's just carrying them. Clint Capella's been in and out of the lineup. John Collins apparently doesn't want to be there, so if they make any more moves, hopefully they can get it going and get out at 12 and probably in the play-in tournament. But we shall see. Moving on to Klay Thompson's return and the state of the Warriors. Gabe, you're a very passionate Warriors fan and Steph Curry fan in general. How excited were you for Klay's return?
I mean, it was just Klay return. I mean, like, I don't know, it's kind of different, like, vibe for basketball to me. And like, it's just like the Warriors haven't been like the same without Klay,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like they're getting back into it, even though Klay's still rusty with it because he hasn't played like for 2 years. But I mean, the Warriors with Klay back, that's really deadly now. But like once Klay gets the rust off, I think they will be a threat to deal with.
Yeah, Mark, same question for you. How excited were you for Klay's return as a non-Warrior fan, but an NBA fan in general?
Uh, Surprisingly, I was actually like pretty excited for him, and I was happy that he can finally play now. But I ran into some like videos that showed like players that like what teams they were on before his return, and I was thinking that that's like really crazy, like the change that happened from when he was out to now his return. And I feel like even though he might be a little rusty right now, I feel like he can catch on really quick and they could get pretty dangerous as a team.
Yeah, definitely. A quick correction there. Gabe just informed me he's not really a Warriors fan, but he is an NBA fan that appreciates greatness and something that a lot more NBA fans should do. No cap. So what does Klay's return mean for the young Warriors who really showed out this year, like Gary Payton II, Jordan Poole, and those guys?
I mean, their time will get reduced, but like they're still gonna make an impact. I mean, it's just that Jordan Poole and Gary Payton, like, because they always like kind of switch off for starting two. Now Clay's back in, so like, I mean, their bench step will be deeper now since like Gary Payton and Jordan Poole have like that starting off experience, like, so they know like what to do on the floor. I mean, like, I don't think it's gonna be any big of a difference. I mean, Gary Payton still, I mean, from what I've seen, like he's still showing up, and then Jonathan Kuminga had a great night last night. So I mean, it's their bench step is really good. So because I know they have a good floor spacing, but I know because Draymond's not on the floor because from fantasy league he's out. Like, I think there are losses right now. I mean, I feel like Draymond's a big impact to that team.
I feel like with those players maybe not as much maybe not getting as much play time as before with Klay's return, I feel like they can learn from him and his experience, and he can make them better as like a player and as an overall person without them getting much playing time. But I feel like that's if their bond like I guess connects well, then it'll be like the team would be like better depth, more dangerous, like not to be slept on. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like he could make a really positive impact on the team with them.
Yeah, for sure. Golden State definitely not a team to be slept on. Very much capable of making a run to the finals this year. Well, like Western Conference Finals, maybe even an NBA final return again. But we shall see. It does make the Golden State depth, as you said, Gabe, a lot better. And the rotation itself, I think once Steve Kerr figures that out, oof, like good luck. Now moving on from the Warriors to the Lakers. What do you think has worked for the Lakers, who began 2022 with a 4-game win streak? They're arguing about who wants to go first. Mark.
Okay. Well, I feel like at the beginning of the Lakers being of how much power that they have, I feel like even with that much power as a team, if you don't have good chemistry between those players, like you can't even like win or make the playoffs possibly. But right now, of course, AD, like he'll get better, but it's okay. If he joins them, then I feel like them three, Russ, LeBron, and AD are all good leaders, but they don't know how to follow. So, well, I would say give them 1 to 2 seasons maybe, then they can grow. But with the winning streaks, I feel like they could take advantage of the winning streaks, and but with that, like I've also been noticing some losing streaks that they need to kind of fix up on. So yeah, I would say like they're good for now, of course, because they're the Lakers, but like they just need some time.
I mean, when AD joined, what it took them like what that year, the same year AD joined to win the championship, right?
Yep.
Yeah, like so, like they don't need time. It's just Russ. I mean, in my opinion, I think it's Russ and probably AD just like being injury prone. Like, what's his injury? Like, how long is
It
he
was
out
an
for?
MCL sprain.
There you go. How long is he out for then? Like,
He was out for about 4 to 6 weeks, and yesterday was the 4-week mark.
Yeah.
okay, so I mean, still like AD's still not the same. Like watching him, like it's just something's off about him. It's probably the bubble that ruined the Lakers a lot. Because not just saying like no, they winning championships because
Yeah.
as after that then they had to go back to like it was like with Miami and like every team in the bubble like they barely had any rest. So like well like Warriors not in the picture of the bubble like they had more time to rest than like Lakers or like the Bucks or the Miami. So I mean at the same time what Mark said about the leadership. I mean, they really do need to show a lot more leadership in the floor because I feel like they just like once they like when it's like one bad play by LeBron or Russ or AD, they'll probably complain or like stay in the backcourt while like everyone else is on defense. Like you can't do that. You're playing to win. You're getting paid. Like
That's,
you gotta win. You got like that's how you win championship. You gotta play with your heart out. Like Giannis, he runs back every time to block, play defense. So.
yeah. Go ahead, Mark.
Tagging on with what Gabe said about the frustration, like they also, I feel like that's one thing they need to fix too, because I've seen like videos in the locker rooms of like them, if anything, being upset with each other. So I feel like they need to fix that in order. I don't know like what, but it's not too often, which is good. But I feel like if they clear up their frustration as a team, then like during the losing streaks at least, then they'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, look at what Doc Rivers did with what was it, 2007-8 Boston Celtics. Like they put their egos aside eventually, and came out as champions. So I think LA really has to figure that out. Russ definitely has to start playing better. And as a matter of fact, his body language and all that as his attitude as a whole really has to improve. I thought I heard some people mention that like he should be resting games to try and get his mojo back. Do you guys think that's a good strat? One quick sec. Go ahead.
Wait, repeat it.
Okay, yeah. So I heard some people on Twitter mention that the Lakers should rest Russell Westbrook. Do you think that's a good strategy or no?
I feel like, well, it could be a little bit of both because it could be good because he can kind of observe the team like from the bench, but with it being a bad thing, I feel like he'll get mad because he's not playing and he wants to play because he always wants the ball and he wants to do this and that. So I feel like if he stays on the bench, maybe for like if they bench him for like a couple of games, like not back to back, it would be better than, or like, I don't know, like just having him observe kind of like instead of him actually playing, like his assignment is to observe and like use his leadership. And then maybe he'll fix his like attitude or body language to the team. So then it could be a better impact for them.
For me, benching Russ?
Yeah.
I just say trade him away, not bench. I'm like, that's my land. I don't think there's a fix to Russ. Like with all that like crypto, I don't know how you can like. Well, I need like what? Do I need like buy VC to fix his jump shot? Like, I need like we need to fix him. Like what? Do we need to give him a therapist? Like, he just needs to be fixed. That's all I'm saying. Or he needs to be fixed. Like, like the way he plays, or like when you say the way he plays, like he comes to make turnovers, makes some poor decisions at
Oh, yeah.
times. But I feel like there's no fixing him. Like when you need him the most, like he's not there. So I feel like you should trade him away for more assets. So like you can get a good point guard that can give you points. Because I know Lakers are like struggling with points sometimes. So like they need a score. So yeah.
Ooh, Mark just posed a really good question in the chat. Who would be a good replacement to Russ if the Lakers decided to trade him?
I just want to say, like, it was free agency, right? It was him and what CP3 Lakers were looking at.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And like, we saw the bubble and like it was like Lakers versus Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Like they weren't even playing defense on Russ, and like that's the guy they signed. Like it doesn't
Yes.
make sense. Like
They traded for him, yeah.
I don't even care. Give me like Darius Garland or I don't care. Like he's good though. Like just give me a young point guard or something, or give me like a good young valuable assets.
Yeah, Mark, what do you think?
Well, I feel like now they should have gone with maybe CP3, but also they do need some. Well, they have some good young talent, but I feel like that's what they need to use for that, like for whoever would be in Russ's spot to learn, I guess, from AD and LeBron by potentially being started right next to them. So I feel like there's no like certain, I guess maybe what Gabe said, like Garland or Darius Garland or someone of that to like replace Russ maybe, but I don't know. Right now I feel like it would be better for not a superstar, but like not like a rookie, like kind of like in the middle, but someone who's on the younger side to replace him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Lakers would trade Russ, but they can at the very least make some moves and decisions to hopefully help him get better acclimated. Because we're at the midway point of the season. Like, if you don't turn stuff around after the midway point of the season, and you're playing horrible, and that's affecting the team, you're kind of cooked. I mean, let's not mince words here. I mean, like, they got to figure it out fast. But moving on, more about the Lakers. Their 4-game win streak was against lottery teams. So how far does that make them from the other contenders? Because at the moment, I believe they're 7th in the West. They were 6th and had the potential to go to 5th. So I mean, what's up with that? Let's go with Gabe.
Okay, so like what their position is right now?
Yeah, how far are they? How far away are they from teams like the Suns, the Warriors, and the Grizzlies?
I mean, Lakers shouldn't be like, because what last year they were like playing tournament, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like you shouldn't treat them as if they're in like a playing tournament. Like if the season ended right now because they're in a playing tournament, you shouldn't treat them as a play-in. You should be treating them as if they're like, you know, the like a top 5 seed or something like
Yeah,
that.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
But at the same time, they're really struggling with scoring. Like it's just that I think they sometimes on the floor you kind of see it from like players like they don't hustle back or like they don't really kind of care anymore. Like just give up at the end. I mean, it's a lot of things like a lot of like what is it called like variables and like for them to actually make it to playoffs or not playoffs, make it to the like, finals.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if they basically put more effort, like the players put more effort in like their work rates, then they could definitely align with per se the Golden State or the Grizzlies or maybe like the Jazz too around that place. But I feel like if they're like as I say, if you don't put in the work, then you don't get the result that you want. So I feel like they aren't putting in as much as they want to get out, which causes them to be currently in the 7th seed. But I feel like if they wake up, if they realize that, oh, we have to put in as much as we want to take out, then they could definitely make like a top 5, top 4 seed.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think LeBron playing center can continue for the rest of the season? Got some split opinions here. Let's hear from Mark first.
I mean, I feel like for now, yes, because he's LeBron. Like he could play basically anywhere. But I feel like if you put him too much as a center, then he might not like produce as well as right when he starts to play center. So I feel like you can play him center, but you need to also play him around the court so then he can kind of observe, like with him not being a center, observe what to do when he's a center and be successful with it. So overall, I think you can play him center.
I mean, for now, probably, but I don't think I can keep up. I mean, not like the Warriors, like where they play Draymond at the 5 and like they run small ball. When the Lakers do it, like I mean, yes, the defensive and the scoring, but like I don't think like they don't got that much good option for scoring and like defense. They'll be undersized. Like LeBron and like Russ will be like the only one like carrying the defensive end. And like Avery Bradley, I mean, he is a good defender, but like scoring wise, you need someone that's like you probably need a 3 and D player, like someone that's a offensive scorer and can play defense. To if they want to keep running that LeBron center lineup, then they need to make trades for that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, I think Frank Vogel mentioned that he wants to use LeBron and AD as the primary 5s moving forward. I don't know how sustainable that can be, But you got to remember when LeBron, at least at the very least, starts at center. I think they're what 5-0 and putting up 127 points a night. So I mean, there's the good in that. But I do get what Mark is saying about maybe playing him at the 4, at the 3, where he's more comfortable, and putting in say Dwight or AD once he gets back. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of interesting options for the Lakers' new 5-man. But that small ball lineup has had its ups and downs, you can say. Which Laker has stood out to you guys so far? For me, it's most definitely Malik Monk.
Yeah, I was about to say that too. He's been absolutely phenomenal for them. I feel like he should they should give him more playing time with. Yeah.
Mark, I think you cut out there for a little bit. You kind of froze. You said playing time with LeBron or what?
Yeah, no, just I guess playing time in general,
Okay.
like more playing time with the team to connect him with the other players on the team that get their usual playing time. So that way when he gets more experience, he can do what he does now and maybe even like be better for them. So yeah, I feel like he needs to be put in more to get a better like feel of each other player's playing styles.
Yeah, I would also agree with Mark. Another one would be Austin Reeves. I mean, like he's young, but like he can actually score.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like good fan or like they're I feel like they might overhype him, like Taylor Horn Tucker. And I mean, like to be honest, I think whoever hyped up Kuzma, like any of the young Laker people, once they get traded, they're better than they seem to because it's just whoever hyped them up is just they're dumb. That's like I don't know why you would hype them up. Or like, you would like they they think like what Kuzma would done this, but he didn't perform that well. But now he's in Washington. He's actually better than he was in the Lakers. I feel like that's the same with Taylor Horn Tucker. It was a high expectation. Now he's like there's bare minimum of him, and I feel like Austin Reeves will also be too much hyped up that he might get traded away because the Lakers fan don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's this weird like curse, if you can put it that way, where it's like every time a Laker that every time someone starts out with the Lakers and eventually moves on, they play a lot better than when they were in LA. I don't know how the hell it happens, because it happens repeatedly. D'Angelo Russell, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, Caruso, Kuzma, KCP to an extent. But yeah, I mean, that'll be it's it's a strange phenomenon that happens here in LA. And finally, for the Lakers, what trades do you think they should make? Some guys and rumors include Jeremy Grant and Miles Turner as the prominent ones, with of course Taylor Horton Tucker being the one getting shipped out.
Those are some good trades, Jeremiah Grant and Miles Turner. I mean, he can. I know he shoot like he can shoot threes. Like he times I don't know how many per game, but like I know he can make it. So like spread the floor. Jeremiah Grant, you can get a scorer, and like I mean, Taylor Tucker. I mean, I think he should just get traded away to like Washington, I guess, or like some random team. But then like when he gets there, like he'll be like the all-star of the team because Lakers fan overhyped him. So I mean, any trade would be good for to get Miles Turner or Jeremiah Grant. I mean, you should also try to get a point guard instead of Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, I agree with I agree with them with those being pretty good trades too. But I don't know, I feel like uh DeJounte Murray, or I said that. Sorry, I didn't smooth brain that right.
No, that's him. Yeah, Dejounte.
his he has the he has like a really high deflection rate per game, where it says 4.2 when the number 2 spot has a 3.9. So I feel like with him having that many deflections, leading to him like working, I guess, having a high work rate other than other people would be a good trade, maybe to replace Russ, but maybe to even like share like time with him. Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think DeJounte Murray, I never really thought of him in trade rumors. There's always been the Lakers, their biggest need at the moment, I think, is either a wing or a young big man. And Turner or Grant fit both of those options. I think you can't necessarily trade Russ because his play recently, he's you can tell he's lost a step. And also his massive contract. I don't think anyone wants that. No one's willing to shell out 5 for 1 in that sort of deal. You know what I mean? So yeah, going to be very interesting to see what the Lakers do. And speaking of trades, let's move on to our next segment: trades and trade rumors. So the Nuggets had traded Bull to the Pistons before it was voided because Bull failed his physical. Will he ever get out of Denver?
Probably at some point. I mean, I don't know where, but like I feel like to Detroit, right? He was supposed to be traded there.
Yeah, yep.
I mean, he would have gotten a lot more minutes, and he would have been like a star. But like he'd be playing for a doo-doo team. But it is what it is. But I mean, playing in a bad team though, you get more minutes and you're the star. But still, I mean, he wasn't that bad in Denver, I think. Or I haven't seen him play that many games, but still. Well, I haven't watched that many Denver games, so I can't say on that. But at some point, he's gonna get traded too. Like he probably might get to the Cavs at some point. Like they might do a big man lineup with him, like 2K. We'll see what happens with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Gabe. I feel like he's gonna get traded, but I'm not sure where and when. But I wouldn't be surprised if he does, because even though I haven't seen him that much or watched him play, like I feel like what team would want him? Maybe I don't know. I feel like because I feel like he's the type of person to not fit on most teams. So the teams that he would fit on should take advantage of him.
Yeah, undoubtedly, he would have been a great asset or great player for Detroit, because I think bottom line, he needs to get to a young rebuilding team where he can thrive. That's the big thing. I don't know if he's really ready for a contender as of yet. That's not gonna be the case a few years from now, but he really needs to get somewhere where he can show his true potential, and hopefully that comes at the deadline or the offseason or whatever. Yeah. You think Philly will ever trade Ben Simmons? Because that's been going on since for a long time now.
I guess I'll go first on this one, but I do feel like I feel like they should trade him because he's not really doing much for them, as it's kind of obvious, I guess. But if anything, I don't know. I feel like if they do trade him, then he thrives on a different team, and they think that he fits again for their team, that they might miss out on him, kind of.
Yeah, what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like currently in their situation, I feel like he should get traded out, or he should go to a different team.
Yeah. Gabe, same question for you. Should Philly trade Ben Simmons? Or let me put this way. Will they?
Will they? I mean, they should, but I don't. If the only thing is Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
No one wants him. Like I don't know, like they'll be able to trade him, but like I want him gone. Like even if I was a Phillies fan, I would want him gone. Like I do not want to see him. Like I would ship him overseas. Give me Jeremy Lin for all I care. Like give me someone from like give me J. Cole. I don't even care. He'll be my point guard. Like I don't even care. Give me a Russ, bro. I don't even care at this point. Just I don't want to see that man at all. I mean, unless like he's like developing a shooting form right now, which I'm like surprised. Well, then maybe he'll be a worthy trade asset if he can actually shoot. But no, he has like a what can't shoot for his life type thing. So yeah, I don't think he's getting traded ever. Well, because people don't want him.
Yeah, Mark.
Really, the Beijing Sharks.
Shanghai Sharks. Yeah.
The Shanghai Sharks. Yeah,
yeah. What should the Trailblazers do now? Because now that they're struggling and they fired their former GM Neil Oshley or Oshley.
They should blow up the organization and just redo this whole thing because they cannot do anything for their life. I'm sorry, Damian Lillard fell off. Like no one really talking about him anymore. I mean, like who talks about them? Like let's be honest. Like let's keep it 100. No one really talks about them. The only thing we talk about now is them being a bust.
Mhm.
So I just say let's move Portland away, and let's move them to the Seattle Sonics. And let's just never talk about how bad they were this year because they really need to like trade everyone away, keep the young player, be like OKC, and yeah, that's it. Just like rebuild again because they're never making it to play finals.
that was brutal, but yeah, I don't have any more words to say. Like I feel like one, Dame should probably get out there and join a different team if he wants.
Fast.
Yeah, really fast to save his career, or else he's gonna go in the dumps. But I feel like them maybe changing a city, like changing their city to one who doesn't have a team, would be a good a good movement, I guess, or maybe to just like I don't know, maybe to be I don't know how to say this, but like to kind of scrap their whole team and then start from scratch and try to build a meta team from there.
Yeah, just rebuild. Yeah. I mean, Bleacher Report predicts that Yusuf Nurkic and Robert Covington are going to be traded at the deadline. So we'll have to see. Maybe it's not a move that involves McCollum or Dame, but again, just trying to build around them. And let's see. We've honestly seen how that's gone before, and it hasn't worked. Like, what makes them think it'll work this time? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I do agree with you guys. Blow it up, start from scratch, see what happens. And finally, go ahead.
Like those 4 players that you just mentioned on the Blazers, they should, if they want to save their careers, they need to get out.
Yeah. And finally, for this segment, who do you think Indiana trades first, Miles Turner or Domantas Sabonis?
Miles.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah, Sabonis was really popping off this year and I think the year before. But I mean, if they're not happy in Indy, just like move them for guys who will gel better or something. Yeah, another team that's in purgatory that's really don't know if they're on the way up or on the way down. And finally, let's move on to the NBA All-Stars. So for starters, which players deserve to be first-time All-Stars? Because I know that list includes, I believe, Shea, Ja, among others. I want to say, yeah.
I mean, it's really hard because like it's really powerful. Like it's a powerful like you already got like not content. Like well no like Curry, Jokic, Kobe. He's not playing, but like LeBron. PG. I know he's getting like, a lot more votes. Luca. I mean, yeah, they could be. I can see Shea, yes, but maybe when he moves to a different team, he'll probably get more votes. Melo, Darius Garland, they should, but like it is a lot more because I mean Zoe also. I mean, the Bulls like Levine and DeMar, they'll probably take a lot more because it's really hard to see who would be it because there's a lot of talent there. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if Ja gets picked as an all-star, but I feel like Shea I could see Shea get picked as an all-star, but I don't know if he would necessarily get the playing time that he might want.
Mm-hmm.
But I those are kind of like I could see both, but as Gabe said, there's a lot of talent. So some players that personally I feel should be in the All-Star game, they might not get picked because per se, like one team is looking for a big man, but like they both pick their like guards and stuff, and there could be some really powerful guards still left. So I don't know, this all-star like selection, as you would say,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it could really go anywhere.
for sure. Speaking of all-star selections, have you guys voted for all-stars this year? If so, who did you pick?
yeah.
Gabe, you want to start us off?
Oh yeah, let's start off with my East. I mean, I did like when it came out. So, my East, Trey, DeMar, KD, Tatum, and I think Giannis. Yeah, that's my. And then for the West, I mean, it's kind of obvious. Uh, LeBron, PG, Jokic. Who was it? I forgot who my two. I think I put Luca and I put Curry.
Wouldn't expect anything else. Mark?
Same. Unfortunately, I didn't have the time to vote, but I have thought of some people who can be,
Mm-hmm.
opinion, who should be in the All-Star game. Should I start on the West or the East?
Up to you. Let's start with go with the West since Gabe started with the East.
Okay. On the West, I have Jaw making it. I have Donovan Mitchell. I have LeBron, Jokic. Paul George is out, so I'm not sure. Is that and of course Steph Curry. Like you can't not pick him. So my starters would be Steph, LeBron. This is no order. So like the positions can like be switched, but Steph, LeBron, Jokic. I don't know why. I want to say Cat and Damian Lillard. Yeah, so that's for my West. And for my East, the starters at least, KD, Giannis, DeMar, probably Jared Allen, which might be a surprise, but and Ray Young, probably Trey Young, or Fred VanVleet.
Okay. Gabe, you said you
Yeah, I didn't put Luke. I put D Book. And Mark, you're
Mm.
so dumb. You didn't say Giannis. Oh God.
Huh? I did.
Did he?
Yeah.
as a
No,
starter.
you said Trey Young, Jarrett Allen. Who's the last one? I forgot.
KD, Giannis, DeMar,
I don't think he said Giannis.
Allen, and
I don't think he said Giannis.
Oh boy.
I mean, I don't know.
All right. Let's wrap this one up with mine then, or not totally wrap it up, but mine. I'll start with the West. I have Luca, Ja, LeBron, Ingram, and Jokic. For the East, I have Trey, DeRozan, KD, Giannis, and Embiid. So yeah, we're all pretty similar with our votes so far, and of course, there's going to be many more opportunities to do so. And the last one, the last one we'll end on for today. Who should be the All-Star captains?
Curry and KD.
Ooh, okay.
Interesting.
I can if I Curry, KD, Jokic, and Giannis. Those are like the four.
Yeah, I was.
Mhm.
Cause I'm thinking of like MVP race. Like that's like they're all performing well, and like I would love to see Curry and KD go at it. But at the same time, I
Ooh.
want to see them play again with each other. But at the same time, if Curry and Giannis were like team captains, I mean, hey, that'll be fun to watch them against each other. Maybe it's gonna be kind of exciting to see who gets what. But I feel like those four will probably be it. I don't think LeBron might be captain, but at the same time, he
It could
a lot
happen.
of bias. Well, he might get it, so we'll see.
For my captains, I'm. This kind of hurts me to not pick LeBron, but I have to hop with Steph Curry as a captain.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'm a Laker fan, and
Hey.
I don't know that was heartbreaking for me. But and then on the East, I would say Giannis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, it's a toss up. I mean, you all have really good combinations. For me, it'd be one of these three pairings. It'd be LeBron and Curry, Curry and KD, or LeBron and Giannis. I'd say, because I know that happened probably last year or the year prior. But yeah, those would be my predictions for captain. All right, fellas, that's going to do it for this episode of the Boundless and Ballin podcast. Thank you all so much for listening. And I'm going to adopt this from Gabe's podcast. I mean, the floor is yours to shout out whoever and whatever you want.
Let's see. Follow Jordan's Substack. Yeah, I think that's how you say it. The newsletter. I think that's what it is.
Yes, sir.
Follow the Kinder Project, even though it's kind of like dead. Like I don't know when they're posting, but when?
We're starting to record soon.
There we go. That's what.
Let's go.
Because they ended on Halloween, and follow my podcast. Yeah, just follow everyone.
I would like shout out Jordan's newspaper blog, because that's some superior stuff, I gotta say.
Thank you.
And his podcast. And I also want to shout out the Daily Life podcast to go watch there too. And I don't know. I guess Lucas's podcast.
Yeah, that's coming up soon. Yeah.
Soon, yeah.
All right, yeah, fellas. All their links will be in the descriptions, like Instagrams, podcasts, and whatnot. And that'll do it for this episode. I'm Jordan Beckley now, and stay safe, stay healthy. Peace.